All the time, people come to me and tell me, Carrie, I have this incredible community or this incredible idea for a community. Now, how do I actually get people in it? We're going to tackle that question in this video. So usually what happens is that people jump right to thinking about how do I get my first 100 or 1,000 members? But we don't want to start quite that high. I tell people constantly, slow down, because the first 10 people that you get in are actually the most crucial members of your entire community. They are what's going to set the culture and the tone for everything else that's to come. They're going to be what provides the foundation that's going to get you the next 100 or 1,000 members that are in alignment with what you want to create, so that you're not constantly having to push and react to things in your community, but instead you're creating a generative and positive environment for everybody. If you spend time getting those first 10 members right, it's going to set the tone for how much easier it's going to be for you to get your first 100, your first 1,000, your first 10,000, and 1 million members from here. I'm Carrie Melissa Jones, and I have helped hundreds of business owners and individuals create meaningful online communities that connect their members and don't leave them feeling burned out. By the end of this here video, you will have a step-by-step action plan, the same one that we use with our clients, to get your first 10 members in just 30 days. So let's get into it. Step 1, you're first going to want to consider the criteria for who would be your ideal community member. You're going to pick the criteria first, not the people. Amateurs pick people first, and you are not an amateur because you're here educating yourself. For that group of people, consider their behaviors, their attitudes, where they like to hang out online, and really think about where your ideal member would be spending their time. And keep yourself accountable to this. Write down these ideal behaviors, attitudes, hangout spots, so that you can return to them if you feel like you're getting out of scope or getting way out of where you had originally planned to be. Write that down and really focus in on that area. Now, the more specific you can be here, the better. So we had a client who we worked with who served all swimmers with their customers. So all people who swim. Now, this is a gigantic group of people. And instead of thinking about community and focusing on all swimmers, we had to decide what was the target market, the target area that we wanted to focus on first. So what we decided was to focus on competitive teenage athlete swimmers. Now, these competitive teenage athlete swimmers hang out in very specific places, both online and in person. They have very specific attitudes and behaviors, things that they do on a regular basis. Once we can understand that about the community, then we can build something for them. Now, what we build for that group of people, it's not going to appeal to all swimmers, and that's exactly what makes it so very special. If you don't know where to start here, that's perfectly okay. You are not alone. If you want to dig even deeper into who it is that you want to gather and why you want to gather them, make sure you check out my totally free workshop that's all about how to design meaningful community experiences and spaces. You can grab that at the link in the description right here on YouTube. Now that you've picked your criteria, it's time to move on to step 2. This is where you're going to write down the names of the first 10 people who you think would be the ideal members of your community. Your big question now is, where are you going to find these people? You might look in places on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Discord servers. You might already have these people as friends, family, or colleagues. So start to think about where those people are today and how closely connected you are with them right now. If you don't know where to begin, if you don't have 10 people whose names you can write down right now, who you would feel comfortable inviting to be in your community, that's okay. You've got a little bit of work to do here. Your next step will be to spend the next few days discovering and joining and participating in spaces where your ideal members are already hanging out. Yes, this can take some time. You've got to build these relationships one by one, but I do have a quick tip for you to really speed this along. To fast track this work, there are 2 things you can do. 1, you can let people know transparently that you're thinking about building something for them and that you're looking for feedback. Now, you don't want to just ask for feedback on a thread. You want to actually invite people to get on the phone with you. So what that means is getting a Calendly link or something similar set up so that people can jump on a Zoom call with you, a phone call with you, whatever you're comfortable with, a Discord audio chat, whatever makes sense for you, to actually start to build a relationship with this person one-on-one. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is to host an event inside of one of these communities, or to promote that event inside these communities with the moderator's permission, of course, and invite people to come together into a shared space around what you're thinking about building. This will start to set the groundwork for the relationships that you'll build in the future. So invite them to that event and then stay in touch with them afterwards. That's going to help you to start understanding who's going to show up and quickly develop rapport and a relationship with them. All right, so your homework is to find those first 10 people who you'd like to invite. My question for you is, where are you going to find these members? Are you going to go to LinkedIn, Facebook, friends and family, somewhere else entirely? Let me know in the comments. I would love to brainstorm with you and cheer you on as you do this important work. Now it's time to contact your prospective members and start to invite them into your community. What you're going to need to do first is understand, what are you actually asking people to do? Be really clear when you send out an invitation to these people who you've built relationships with. What is the ask? Are you asking them just to join the space? Are you asking them to commit to showing up to events? Are you asking them to help you moderate and keep the space positive? Be really clear about that. What's crucial here is to know that it's not right to opt people in. We need to make sure that people give consent and then say, yes, I'd like to join. For this first group of 10, they are so crucial. It's important that you not only get their consent, but get their enthusiastic consent to be part of this community. They should be excited about it, be ready to step up alongside you. Now, in case you haven't noticed, this is a lot more work than simply just dropping in a bunch of random links into Facebook groups and crossing your fingers and hoping that the right people join. Yes, it is. That's because if you do this with intention, you will build something really, truly special. There are so many spaces on the internet today that are honestly crap. We'll just call them what they are, okay? And you are not creating that. So it does take a little bit more upfront time, but it's worth it in the long run. One of my clients recently did this. She wanted to go out to her entire mailing list, tell everyone about her community right off the bat. And now I cautioned her from doing this because what she was creating was not yet completely solid. And so what we did instead was we launched to a beta group, this founding member group of people who we really wanted to get feedback and insights from first. That group remains engaged in the community today, and they're able to then steward and provide the foundation for the next 100 members, 1,000 members as her community grows and changes and evolves over time. Okay, you're to the final step of getting your first 10 members. Now your job is to send formal invitations. Send out formal invitations to your members, inviting them to do 1 to 2 clear things when they join the community. So oftentimes this looks like sending someone a link to join and then saying, make sure to RSVP to this event, introduce yourself, respond to this thread, whatever is relevant to you and your purpose. After a few days, you'll notice that some people have responded to this and some people haven't. So it's important that you follow up here. You've got to close that loop, come back around and check on how people are progressing. Now, these members are so very important. I actually recommend sending something physical as well at this point. So if you're running an online community, grab people's addresses. You can use a tool like Postable to grab addresses really quickly and send them a thank you card or some other small token of appreciation for what they're doing in your community. One little caveat here. If you are charging these early members to be part of what you're building, know that there will be drop off. You will need more than a list of 10 in order to get to 10 members. But I actually think it's important to consider whether or not you should charge these first 10 members. Oftentimes they're providing us so much value, so much support, so much stuff that we can't even calculate the value of, that it doesn't make sense to charge them when you're first starting out. These first 10 people are your special VIPs, and you're not going to make this exception for anybody else, but you might want to make it for them. So consider that. If you want to jump right into this work, getting your first 10 members in 30 days, I want to welcome you to that challenge. I have a free set of worksheets that comes with my book, Building Brand Communities, that you can download right away. And one of those worksheets is how to find your first 10 founding members. So you can use that, put it to the test right now. If you want to think even more deeply about who it is that you want to gather and what you want to invite them to do, make sure that you check out my free workshop on how to design meaningful community experiences and places. I hope this video was so valuable for you. Make sure to let me know in the comments, where are you going to go to get those first 10 members of your community? And if you liked this video, be sure to find me on Instagram at Carrie Melissa Jones. Take a little screenshot of yourself watching this video and let me know what you're learning. We'll have a whole conversation in the DMs about community building. I look forward to it. All right, everybody, happy community building. Take care. Have a wonderful day.